Doing that, I just want to ask, is there any other veterinarians here? Okay, so why the heck are you picking on me, Justice, for the questions? Oh, you were asking me dog questions?
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
That's okay. On that note, in addition to veterinarians, who's interested in food animal production? Okay, how about companion animal, equine, and then zoo and wildlife? Okay, well, any research, One Health, people? Okay, if there's anything else, please raise your hand. I forget what the different levels are. So as Justice said, my name's Vladimir. I am an associate large animal veterinarian at Azor's Veterinary Practice. Has anybody heard of Azor's Veterinary Practice? Okay. Has anybody been to Azor's Veterinary Practice? Yes, I see some familiar faces. Thank you guys, we appreciate it. So we're a large animal practice. Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm on your side. I'm here.
I was going to ask you if you had a clicker, but that's okay.
Unfortunately, no.
That's fine.
We're our technology here.
That's fine. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you. Throughout my undergrad and throughout my veterinary degree, I can't remember the last time I was at school on a Saturday. If it wasn't last minute studying for a test or an exam, I don't think I would be here, so you guys are already one step ahead. So thank you for committing the time, the effort, and for being willing to pay attention to not only me speak, but all the other professionals and the keynote speakers. So we'll start with that. Before, you can go to the next slide, but a little bit of a summary for me. As Justice said, I graduated from the University of Calgary. I am originally from Canada, so Alberta, just north of Montana, and then I moved down to California, Turlock specifically, immediately after graduation. So I graduated in May and I started working in July. If you guys are interested, and I'm assuming most of you are because you're here in the veterinary field, becoming a veterinarian, keep on at the very end. I'll have a little note on that, but just keep on pushing through. It took me 4 application cycles to actually get in. So there's a lot of people that apply once, apply twice, they don't get in. They're a little discouraged, and I completely understand. I applied 4 times, and I said the 4th time, if I don't get in, I'm done. I don't want to pay, speaking as a Canadian, my tuition was nowhere near what you guys are going to have to pay for US schools, but I didn't want to go to the Caribbean, I didn't want to go to Australia. It was affordable to go to school, be close to home, be close to family. But nonetheless, it's a very rewarding career. I'm still fairly new. I'm actually really new, 2 years out, but I still enjoy it, so I'm sure you guys will too, and just keep pushing on. Don't get discouraged if they come back and say, no, we're not going to accept you. You can go back to that other slide, actually, thanks. No worries. I can go over there, you can...
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't know.
When I need it to be switched, I'll come over there.
Okay.
Thank you so much,
Is
Justice.
there something you wanted left on? Or
You can go to the next one. Yeah. Afterwards, if any of you have any questions about my journey, feel free to come up to me and just ask away. I enjoy these types of things. I feel like networking, getting to know people is one of the biggest assets that you can have, especially in veterinary medicine. It's always helpful to, I have classmates and professors and other associates back in Canada that I just call them on the phone, I text them, I say, hey, I need help with a case, and they're more than willing to help. So networking is a really big thing, and then as Dean Stokes said, with her talk and her keynote is saying yes, just be willing to take those advantages and come to events like this. I know I said that as a student I probably wouldn't be here on a Saturday, and that's something that I regret because it limited me from meeting new people and having these connections that one day you never know that you're going to need to rely on them. So just keep on doing what you're doing and you're on the right path. A little bit of a breakdown besides what I've already said. I just want to introduce Azor's in general, what we do, who we are, and what type of work you can see us doing. And then lastly, of course, the reason I'm here is for you guys to answer ask the questions that you want answers to. Any questions at all, don't limit yourselves. I'm fairly an open book, so whatever you want to ask, I'm open to that, to answer. Sorry. Justice, where are you? No, I won't be able to do it.
It should be like the damn
So Azor's veterinary practice, we're a 6 veterinarian, 1 clinic technician, yes, 1 clinic assistant, and 1 clinic manager. For those of the students that have been there, we have an abundance of clinic animals. We're delving in pretty deep into the small ruminant advanced reproduction. So we got a pretty big sheep herd now, but we got an abundance of miniature cows. So if that's something you find interesting, always feel free to stop by and take a look at that. We actually have, I think she's still there, but I might be mistaken, a cow that we had for genetic purposes, collecting her through ovum pickup procedures, and she was actually an embryo for 37 years. So it was a frozen embryo for 37 years. We embryo transferred her, and thankfully she's stuck. So that's a little question, a quiz that I like to ask students whenever they come. We go to the pen and we say, how old do you think this cow is? And she was delivered via C-section 13 months ago. And they're like, oh, 2 years, 3 years, and I was like 37. And they're all like high school kids or undergrad kids, and they're like, what? And then of course they ask how this, how that. I thought cows don't live that long. But yeah, that's us. What we do, let's see if that works. So, with being in the North Central Valley of California, I'm going to ask you guys, what do you guys think a large proportion of our work is? What species of animal, what specific sector? Just, okay. Dairy, anything else? Okay, you must follow us on Instagram or something. No, she just knows. So you're correct. Dairy is going to be something that Dr. Sergio Pereira, the owner of the clinic, likes to say is the bread and butter. That's how he started out. That's how he started the business. And essentially it's a main staple to the foundation of the practice. And now, with multiple other practices in the area focusing on dairy, they're a little larger than us, they're more established, they've been around for a really long time. We're starting to diversify. So beef cattle, I wish we had more. I really enjoy beef cattle work coming from Edmonton, Alberta, Calgary, Alberta. We got Feedlot Alley and a bunch of cow-calf operations. I know there's a lot in California, but they're either on this side of the hills or on the other side, so they have their vets, and something that I say is either if the vet doesn't retire or if the vet doesn't die, they're not going to be looking for a new vet. So it's really hard to penetrate the beef market here from what I've found. As mentioned, sheep and goats, we're starting to do a whole lot of advanced reproductive procedures for sheep and goats. So laparoscopic artificial insemination, lap ET, lap OPU. We are now at the final stages of developing our in-house in vitro fertilization lab. So collecting animals, fertilizing them in-house, and then freezing them or sending them away for fresh transplants, all that type of stuff. In the show world, coming from Canada, FFA and 4-H exists, but in the States, this stuff's on steroids. The first time I was here and I saw an animal and I'm working on it, it's sick, it's coming in for an exam, and then the owner, while I finished my exam, he's like, oh yeah, she's an $80,000 ewe. And I was like, Dr. Pereira, you want to see this? I was amazed. I can't believe how intense the industry is here. I compare it to the equine world back at home. Some very, very highly valued animals, but it provides us that opportunity to go one step above. You're going to have the backyard people, of course, that they have sick animals, they're not going to want advanced medicine, and then you have individuals like that with very valuable animals that they'll allow you to do whatever you need to do to be able to heal that animal. And I mean, if we don't have the means of doing that at our practice, thankfully we have a place like UC Davis that we can refer things to through the teaching hospital. Equine services and swine services. Equine is more so, we do the general stuff, vaccines, wellness, dental floats, and then Dr. Favaro at the practice is really gung-ho on the repro side of things. So she has a nice little facility set up for all that. And then swine services, who likes pigs? Okay, we got a swine advocate here. I'm not a huge fan of pigs, but we will see them. But I'll say definitely the majority of our work, every morning we're starting off at a dairy farm, and then our afternoons are filled with any emergency appointments and reproductive procedures on sheep and goats. Any questions before I move on?